What's up? What's up? What's going on? Friday night. We just got one more bullshit card tomorrow. And then 322. But in the meantime, let's listen to this Bisping interview where he's dissing or he's defending Tom Aspinall. Because Jon Jones was dissing Aspinall. And Bisping reacts. Bisping's gonna have to not be a company man for once and speak some facts. Let's hear this shit.
That's according to him. He said, listen, Tom Aspinall was coming at me for the longest time. He was walking around with a duck. He had ducks at fights. He put it in his emoji and all this kind of stuff.
Damn, Jon Jones is still crying about that? That Aspinall brought a duck to the audience? Jones still crying about that shit? Damn, that's what got him mad? A rubber ducky.
Okay.
That set him off.
So I guess you could say what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And Tom Aspinall right now is getting a lot of online. There's a lot of people supporting him, but there's also a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon and talking a ton of crap. And obviously Jon Jones, an incredibly popular fighter that's been around.
What's going on, guys? Friday night. What's up? What's up? Who's pumped for that Vegas card tomorrow? Let me tell you guys, that Vegas card is crazy wicked tomorrow. Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Brown. Matt Schnell versus Joseph Morales. Muslim Salikov. Wow, Ishmael Bonfim. What a stacked card. Chris Padilla. Christian Leroy Duncan. Oh, Marco Tulio's fighting. You know what? That's probably the only fight I'm really like, what the fuck's gonna happen? Marco Tulio's a monster. You know, that guy's a monster. Marco Tulio, guys. He's a fucking machine. I used to call him the middleweight Tom Aspinall. He kind of looks like a Brazilian Aspinall, no? Am I crazy on that? He looks like a Brazilian Aspinall. Marco Tulio. What a badass. Let's see his UFC record. This guy's a monster. What he did to Tresean Gore? How many UFC fights? So, he had a Dana White Contender Series fight, won by knockout. Surprise, surprise, round 2. Marco Tulio we're talking about. Ihor Potieria knocked him out round 1, then knocked out Tresean Gore round 2. I'm telling you, this guy's the future champion. I haven't seen someone this brutally violent in a long time. But Bisping, continue. Let's hear about the Jon Jones Aspinall story. Now, I normally don't watch Bisping, but since Tom Aspinall's his guy, it's interesting to see how the company man's going to react to all this.
You know, he's got a lot of fans, and a lot of people are going to get on the side of Jon Jones. Simple as that, because they're his fans, and Tom's English, and he hasn't been around too long, and all that kind of right? But the reality is, he said that Tom Aspinall is incredibly overrated, and it's quite simple. All he has is a good 1-2.
He has a beautiful 1-2. I got to learn a lot about his patterns in his last fight. And that's really about it. That's the one thing that he's setting up real nice.
That's it.
All Tom Aspinall has is the 1-2. I could watch this over and over and over. And over. All Jon Jones has is the 1-2 eye poke. That's it. What would Jon Jones be without his finger gouging, huh?
1-2. It's dangerous. You can knock people out. Got Curtis Blade with it, even a bunch of other people. But if you watched Tom Aspinall, you know that's not true, okay? But he's not overrated. He hasn't got a simple game. The man's a well-rounded mixed martial artist. He started doing jiu-jitsu when he was 16 years old. And I'm not trying to do it.
So, Aspinall's base is grappling, huh? He never talks about that. That's what I thought. Bisping said so, but Aspinall never talks about that, his grappling base.
Another video here defending Tom Aspinall or taking
And Jon Jones keeps talking about this fucking heel hook or whatever. Or this ankle lock that Aspinall tapped to. When was that? It was probably like 20 years ago. Who cares? Alright, continue, Bisping. Keep talking, bro.
What I'm doing here, I'm just calling out the facts like I see it. When you look at Tom Aspinall's record, 15 wins, 12 knockouts, 3 submissions. So he's finished all of his fights.
Jon Jones calling someone with how many UFC knockouts? Hold up. Seven UFC knockouts? I gotta pull this shit up. I'm gonna compare, because Jon Jones has been around so much longer than Aspinall, right? I want to compare how many knockouts Aspinall has compared to Jon Jones. I'm really curious. I think Aspinall's only had 8 UFC fights. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 UFC fights, including that no contest, right? 10 UFC fights. Alright, out of those 10 UFC fights, I'll even include the no contest. How about that? I think he has 6 knockouts. Am I tripping? I thought he even had more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 knockouts. And they're all in round 1. 6 knockouts. And then not only that, he has 8 finishes total, right? 2 of them happen to be by submission against Arlovsky, Jon Jones' former training partner, and Alexander Volkov, the #1 contender. 6 knockouts, 8 finishes overall, all within the first 2 rounds. The only person that's made it past round 1 was Andrei Arlovsky. Okay. 6 knockouts for Aspinall out of his 10 UFC fights. Alright? Now, the other 4 fights were TKO knee injury, eye poke, no contest. I love how they put accidental next to it. And then his 2 submissions. Let's see how many knockouts Jon Jones has had in his UFC career. First, let's add up his fights. How many UFC fights has he had? His first one was Bader. Right? Oh, no. No, his first UFC fight was before UFC 100. Andre Guzman. Okay. 1. Let's count up Jon Jones' UFC fights and see how many knockouts he has. 1, 2. Because I'm betting Jon Jones doesn't even have as many knockouts as Aspinall. And he has to at least have double the fights. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I counted 24 UFC fights. That's crazy. Two, three. What up? What up? How's it going? What's up? Okay, let's say Jon Jones has about 20 UFC fights. Let's see how many actual TKOs or knockout the dude has. How many knockouts does Jon Jones have? Or TKOs in the first place? I'm actually curious. I have no idea. And we're starting all the way at his first UFC fight, by the way. We won't include the disqualification, right? Okay. He TKO'd Brandon Vera, Matyushenko, Shogun, Chael Sonnen with ground and pound, Gustafsson, ground and pound TKO, and then Stipe, Jon Jones has... he has more than double the fights that Aspinall has in the UFC. And has just as many TKOs. They're not even like one punch out cold knockouts. They're TKOs. But I'll give it to him. It's a TKO. He has the same amount of TKOs / knockouts as Aspinall. And over double the fights. Slim to none. Yes. Now, that's awesome that Jon Jones has 20 plus UFC fights, right? But think about it. Only 6 TKOs out of his 20 plus UFC fights? Do the math on that. His knockout percentage is, like you said, slim to none. It's slim. It's on Weight Watchers, his knockout percentage. It's on Weight Watchers, I'm telling you. That's crazy. I never even looked at it like that. Less than half the UFC fights that you have. And the same amount of TKOs, knockouts as you. Crazy work for Tom Aspinall. And crazy work for Jon Jones. To be saying the dude's underrated. Wow. I think Jon Jones has like 24 UFC fights. 6 of them by knockout. Or TKO. Not even official knockouts. The dude's never even officially slept somebody. Who's he ever slept out cold? Like out cold, snoring. Besides Lyoto Machida with the guillotine. Okay, Daniel Cormier, right? That was overturned. That was overturned. And that's the biggest highlight of Jon Jones' career. Overturned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. It's a shame they even let it happen. Yeah, I don't know. Tom needs a redemption arc. Well, I'm glad that, that there's someone in the heavyweight division that can hang with Aspinall. Gone. So, yeah, the rematch is hyped. And that'll be the start of the redemption arc. Right? We need to see a real result with that fight. Like a real result. I can't wait for the rematch. The odds are going to be like pretty damn even. I bet Aspinall will be just a favorite by a smidge. I hear ya. It's amazing though. The only time Jon Jones ever put anyone out cold was a no contest. And a submission against middleweight Lyoto Machida. That was the only person he's ever dropped to with a punch, Lyoto Machida. One time out of 24 fights has Jon Jones ever dropped anybody. And that was against middleweight Lyoto Machida in 2011. For sure, yes, for sure. Shit's hilarious, man. It's hilarious. But you know what? We don't need to talk about the past right now. We got 3-2-2 coming up. And I don't want to take all the credit, but I made a video saying get Bo Nickel the fuck away from the main card. And I'm not saying the UFC listened to me, but I think we bullied them into putting Bo Nickel on the prelims. Which is hilarious. But at the same time, it makes Bo Nickel's fight more prestigious. Now he won't have to bitch. He won't have to hear fans bitching about him on the main card. And he gets more eyeballs on his fight. And he was bragging about how he was on the main card, so it's pretty funny that he's a featured prelim now. Jones is saying Tom was getting outworked in the first round. But Lyoto was hitting Jones. I mean, we all thought that in that Aspinall fight. Gon did alright. He landed a few jabs. But I rewatched it. And I was like, you know what? Gon didn't, destroy Aspinall round 1. It was a close, competitive round. What can I say? There was a whole minute left to go. That round was up for grabs. That was anybody's round. You know what I mean? Who knows what would have happened in that last minute if that eye poke didn't happen. I think it's just Tom's bloody nose what really made everyone think Ciryl Gane for sure won round 1. It was a close, even competitive fight. Let's see here. Lyoto was hitting Jones in the first exchanges till Jones made improvements. Yeah, Greg Jackson said, hit him with that Superman punch. Fake the kick and go up top with a punch. And Jones listened. Yeah, I remember that fight. Yeah. But, you know, shortly after that, he became a decision machine. After the Chael Sonnen fight, Jon Jones became a decision machine. Literally. If you don't include that steroid no contest against Daniel Cormier, he's had 7 decisions since that Chael Sonnen fight. He's had 7 decisions after that Chael Sonnen fight. You know what I mean? And the other fights were fake bullshit knockouts against Stipe and Ciryl Gane. Now the Stipe spinning back kick, that was legit, but old man Stipe, what up? What up? What's going on? What's going on? Lighting up, smoking up, drinking up. It's Friday night. What's going on? What's cooking on cards tonight? No cards tonight, but just a little Apex tomorrow night. Just your average Apex card, you know. They're fighting in the warehouse tomorrow, the little Apex. But next week, look out. I'm dropping my UFC 322 predictions first thing on Sunday. First thing Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, I'm dropping my 322 predictions. Since, you know, Lucas Tracy retired, you know, I got to be the first one to drop the predictions now. Sunday it is. I hope you guys got your 322 picks ready. I want to know what your guys' predictions are. So yeah, to answer your question, November 15th, that's what's cooking. Jones should be honored that Tom shares a no contest win, except one was fair. Yeah. They both have no contest fights, right? But one was, Jon Jones is because he was on steroids. Aspinall's was because he got fouled. Absolutely. Drink up. Yeah, I got nothing crazy here. I had a couple beers at the bar earlier, you know, at the Irish bar. Played some darts. But now I just have a cream coffee. You know? Nothing crazy in this copper cup right here. Get a copper cup, though. That's the move. Copper cups. All right. 322 MMM. Yes, 322. I mean, look how stacked this card is. The prelims have bangers. We have prospects like Susukayev, Hamzat's teammate. Susukayev is legit, undefeated. We got the UFC legend, Gerald Mearshart. No, I'm just kidding. But he's on the card, GM3. He's still alive. We got Malcolm Wellmaker, someone who I see as the future bantamweight champion. Malcolm the Machine Wellmaker, the hardest hitter at bantamweight. He's on the prelims. We got RoboCop versus Roman Kopylov. We got the middleweight Chase Huber versus Barack Obama on steroids. Banger fight. And then to cap it off, Bo Nickel, the Penn State phenom versus Rodolfo Vieira, a jiu-jitsu black belt master, world class. The classic wrestler versus jiu-jitsu striker, jiu-jitsu fighter again. You know, Bo Nickel gets a second chance to beat a jiu-jitsu fighter. He failed against RDR. I'll never forgive Bo Nickel for making me look like a fool for picking him against RDR. Who'd have thought, though, right? But that's just the prelims. Main card, we're looking at Beneil Dariush, Benny D versus Benoit Saint Denis, BSD. Benny D versus BSD. You know? Leon Edwards versus Carlos the Nightmare Prates. That's a striker's dream right there. I know his name's the Nightmare, but this is a striker's dream right here to watch this fight. Leon has a chance. You know, he's been getting whooped by wrestlers. Style-wise, he's fighting a striker. He's got a chance. Featured fight. Sean Brady, the dark horse of welterweight. Only lost to Bilal Muhammad. Got better sense. The only guy in UFC to finish Leon Edwards. Fighting Michael Morales. The dude who knocked out Magny. Knocked out Gilbert Burns. I believe he's undefeated. Number 8. Still a lot of questions. Not a lot of people know about him. I mean, he towers over most of the welterweight division. That's a welterweight #1 contender fight, in my opinion. Co-main event women's super fight. Do I need to go on? JDM versus Islam main event. Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev for the welterweight title. Guys, we just got to get through this card tomorrow, and we're good. Stack cards here on out. The fight night after this, Armin versus Dan Hooker. I think this is fight card of the year. I'm serious. The bout order's perfect. The title fights are perfect. Prelims solid. There's at least 4 banger prelims. I'll take it. Islam dominates. I don't want to reveal my picks yet till Sunday when I drop them, but you know Islam is a monster on the ground. And I will say Bilal Muhammad didn't shoot many takedowns, but when he did, it worked. I think Bilal could have won if he had the right game plan. Like, I was rewatching Bilal versus Jack. I'm like, all right, Bilal, you proved yourself. You stood in the pocket and you traded with Jack. You fought like a dog. You're a dog. You're not boring anymore. You proved yourself. But now you can shoot a few takedowns on Jack. Don't be afraid to. It's working. That shit's working, you know? Shoot a few takedowns on Jack. Why not? He didn't, though. He just wanted to prove he's the bully and he's not boring. I don't think Islam wants to prove that he's a dog and he's not boring. Okay, I'll be watching Winning with Money Making Mitch. Looking out for Sunday's picks. Hell yeah, look out for Sunday's picks. Oh yeah. And I normally don't do the full card prediction, like literally first prelim to the main event, but this card had to. I had to break down every fight. Fight card of the year. I would say UFC 314 could have been fight card of the year. But the main event wasn't good enough. It wasn't like this. Volk versus Diego Lopez. It's good, but it's not like this main event coming up. Jack versus Islam. Basically a super fight. If UFC didn't get rid of that, oh, we have to strip you if you're a champion and move up weight class rule. If they didn't get rid of that, we're looking at a super fight right here. But yeah, Paul, I like your picks. You might be onto something. Why do you think Islam dominates? Don't you think Jack's going to tag him and test Islam's chin? Jack's going to use his reach, his counter strikes. He's got good counter strikes. He hit Bilal, but Bilal's got a big old melon head. Bilal's got a tough chin. And who do you guys got with Edwards versus Prates? I got Prates, but don't count out Edwards style-wise. This is the most favorable matchup he's had style-wise in years. Since Nate Diaz. Is Topuria overrated? Seems scared to fight wrestlers like Arman. His skills aren't overrated, but his integrity of a champion is overrated. You could be a great fighter, 10 out of 10 skills, but a shit champion. Islam isn't Ilia Topuria isn't fighting anybody. He beat Charles without a scratch. Haven't seen him since. He should have got a fight in by now. He should be knocking over contenders like dominoes. Like his fellow Georgian Merab. I think Merab needs to have a sit-down with Ilia Topuria. He needs to have a father-to-son talk with Ilia Topuria and be like, listen, man. Since you fought Charles, since Ilia Topuria beat Charles during International Fight Week, let's see how many fights his fellow Georgian brother had. Not his real brother, but how many fights has Merab had since summertime? I guess just Corey Sandhagen, but overall, in a calendar year, Merab's had like 4 fights after this Petr Yan fight. Crazy. So, Merab fought in the summer. Then he beat Sandhagen in October, last month. Now he's going to fight again before the end of the year. Topuria, his bravery is overrated. I would say his bravery is overrated. His risk-taking is overrated, but not his skills. Like, take a risk. He didn't defend against the 145ers, moved up just to fight Charles and do nothing else. He should have been fought Gaethje. He should have been fought Arman. At least one of the two. It should have been Ilia versus Arman. That really would have legitimized everything. Yeah. If only his skills matched his will. He's got the skills, but where's the will? Where's the will to prove you're a legit champ? And if Islam performs, then Topuria might stay at 155. Well, he claims he's going to follow him up to 170. Even if he wants to do that, I doubt the UFC is going to let that happen. They're both to blame. I think International Fight Week was the only time for that fight to happen. Islam versus Ilia. I hope I'm wrong, though. I hope I'm wrong. I would love to watch Ilia Topuria versus Islam. But let's just go one fight at a time, because Islam's got Jack to worry about, right? He's got Jack. Banger card, though. I think everyone's pumped up about every fight on the card. I think the underrated one is Sean Brady versus Morales. I know it's the newest added fight to the card, but I think more people need to be talking about it. If I had to point out an underrated banger on the card, Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Come on. Like, we know Edwards Prates is a barn burner. Benny versus BSD, banger fight. But I feel like Sean Brady's getting counted out here. I feel like he's getting counted out. He should actually be fighting Ian Gary, but it is what it is. He's got the balls to step down and fight number 8, Michael Morales. Bilal should be a favorite. Interesting. Maybe so. But hold up. They gotta be close odds, right? Stupid UFC website doesn't have the odds. I bet ESPN has the odds. Okay. Bilal Muhammad is the plus 150 underdog. Ian Gary's minus 180 favorite. You know what? I agree Bilal should be the favorite. But at the same time, I'm sitting on the fence here. I'm picking Ian Gary. I agree with the odds makers. I think I agree with the odds. I don't know why. I know it's weird, but I agree with the odd makers here. Ian Gary, he's really good at winning fights in a boring fashion. I know he lost to Shavkat, but he beat MVP in a boring fashion. He beat Prates in a boring fashion. If anyone can beat Bilal in a boring fashion, I think it's Ian. Brady versus Morales, hardest fight to predict. It is. That's why I was doing tons of research all day today. And I came to a conclusion. I'm dropping the video Sunday. That is a hard fight to predict. Because Morales, he's not on anybody's radar. He's not on anybody's radar. No one studied his tape. No one's on the lookout for him. He's new. And I'm sure Morales has had his eye on Sean Brady longer than Sean Brady has had his eye on Michael Morales. You know what I mean? Brady's got more to lose in this fight. Sorry, Leon Edwards. Oh, you mean Leon Edwards should be the favorite? Hold up. Carlos fades in the later rounds. Okay, maybe he... Well, no. I disagree. Carlos Prates won round 5 against Ian Gary. Prates won round 5 against Ian Gary. But if you do believe that, that's all right because there will be no later rounds in this fight. I'm assuming you're talking about round 4 and 5. Prates versus Edwards is going to be a 3-rounder. So maybe that'll help you with your pick. Prates versus Edwards only 3 rounds. If it goes 3 rounds. If it makes it there. We might not need a judge here. But maybe you think that because he smokes cigarettes. So far, I hear you. He smokes a lot of cigarettes. Not a lot of UFC fighters are smoking squares or cigarettes, right? But I haven't seen a dip in his cardio yet. Who do you think the UFC wants to win, Morales or Brady? Oh man, is that even a question? Are you kidding me? I guarantee the UFC wants Michael Morales to win. Number one, a lot of the Americans get the short end of the stick. Sean Brady's fighting number 8. That tells you all you need to know. Brady beat Leon Edwards, the former champion, only guy to finish Leon Edwards in the UFC. And he's fighting all the way down number 8. And if Michael Morales wins, the UFC will get the Ecuadorian fans. They'll tap into another fan base, the Ecuadorian fans. With that being said, I'm rooting. I'm not saying this is my pick, but I'm rooting for Sean Brady. I always root for the underdogs. I don't know the odds in this fight, but you know what I mean. He's not pampered. He doesn't have Dana White privilege, that's for sure. But the UFC wants Morales to win. He lost finishing power, but Leon keeps it. Kamaru head kick flashback. Well, I get it. The fight nerd stock dropped, but Prates might be the best fighting nerd. Let's not forget, he's the only fighting nerd coming off a win. Prates finished Jeff Neal. Spinning elbow. Some people... There was 2 spinning elbows on that card. Lerone Murphy had one right after. Some people say Lerone Murphy had knockout of the night. Either way, Prate's last fight was one of the best knockouts I've seen all year. All year. So I can't say Prate's lost finishing power. He still has it. He still has it. But Leon could head kick him. This is the most favorable fight for Leon Edwards since Nate Diaz. Prate's is better than Nate Diaz, but like, Leon Edwards hasn't fought a striker in how many fights? He got wrestled by Brady, Usman, even though he won, and Colby. This is a good break for Leon Edwards. You know, he's going to fight at distance. He's going to play the range game with Prates. It'll be fun. They're going to try to head kick each other's head off. There's going to be no takedowns in that fight. Prates is the nightmare, but this fight's a striker's dream. Yeah, Morales is more marketable, so Brady shouldn't let it go to the judges. I guess Morales is more marketable because Ecuador, right? Every other country but the US gets behind their fighters. That's just how it is. That's how it is. Brendan Allen doesn't have a following. Sean Brady doesn't have this big following. You know? It is what it is. But in my opinion, for me, my biased opinion, Brady is more... He's more of an appealing fighter to watch than Morales. I mean, he smoked Edwards. He guillotine choked him in his hometown. And I don't know if you guys heard, but Michael Morales, he's been roaming the streets in a woman's blouse. I think he's been doing the cross-dressing stuff. I mean, I don't think that has anything to do with his fighting capability, but... Is that marketable? Maybe to some people. But yeah, I think Prate's going to get an early KO. Hey, after watching his last fight, first round knockout against Jeff Neal, you never know. But Edwards has only been put away once, and that was by Sean Brady. Funny enough, they're on the same card. But Edwards got put away with the guillotine, with the grappling. Pretty crazy to imagine Edwards getting finished with strikes, huh? But damn, you can't count out Prates after that spinning elbow. He just slept Jeff Neal like it was nothing. Slept Jeff Neal like it was nothing. Yeah, I saw that of him wearing a dress and making his hair pink. So UFC loves that for some reason. He's going the Fruit Loop Izzy Adesanya route. Jon Jones loves that stuff, so UFC loves that stuff. Maybe they'll invite him to the Freak Off. But yes, Brady, he really has a lot on the line here. And if he doesn't get a finish, they're going to give the title shot to Ian Gary. Actually, no matter what Brady does, if Ian Gary wins, they're going to give the title shot to him. O'Malley route. Yeah. O'Malley route, yeah. But this guy might have more fighting ability. But yeah. Good fighter. I'm just not digging the out of the cage cross-dressing stuff. What the fuck? Sean Brady. He's a Philly guy. And I hope he smokes Morales like a Philly cigar. I hope the guy from Philly smokes Morales like a Philly. I think Brady's cool. I think Brady's cool. Leon Edwards was trying to talk all this shit to him. Oh, you're short. Oh, this and that. Brady told him what's up. He told him how it is. And choked him out in his own country. It's kind of a sad looking loss for Brady to lose to Bilal. I mean, I put it past him. That was what, 3 fights ago? Habib was coaching Bilal. It was in Abu Dhabi. Not saying that means anything, but that fight made Brady better, did it not? Did that fight not make Brady better? I think it did. I think that was the best learning lesson for Brady. Okay, he lost to Bilal, right? Round 2 TKO against the fence. All right. Beats Kelvin Gastelum by submission. Beats Gilbert Burns 5-round fight. Chokes out Leon Edwards right after that in his home country. So, yeah. Unfortunately, Ian Gary and all the people that don't want to see Sean Brady fight for the belt are going to say, well, he lost to Bilal. Okay. True. But he's on a 3-fight win streak. 2 of them being finishes. Looking fresh today, brother. How are you, man? I'm good. Thanks, bro. Just rocking the flannel right now. You know, it's flannel season right now. Appreciate it, bro. He's a lot smaller than Morales. Oh, yeah. Morales is going to tower over Brady. Brady's like a short, stocky wrestler physique. No doubt about it. He's no pipsqueak. Let's not get it twisted. He's not a pipsqueak. But he's a short, stocky wrestler physique. And you're right. Morales, he's like as tall as a middleweight at least. He's a tall motherfucker. Yeah, I think Brady's going to be like up to his chest. But that doesn't stop Brady from getting takedowns, I'll tell you that. That won't stop Brady from getting the takedown. I just have a feeling Brady's going to do good. But man, Morales, he has nothing to lose. Michael Morales got nothing to lose in this fight. He's going to run at Brady like a bat out of hell. Brady seems like one of the only normal guys personality-wise. He's not unbearable like Usman or Bilal. Yeah, Brady seems more down to earth. He seems more relatable. But I will say I am warming up to Bilal more these days. I am warming up to Bilal a little more because apparently he slapped Usman on his own podcast. Called him out. Usman ducked Bilal. Still claims Bilal won't get him a title shot. Usman would rather sit out. Usman is making me like Bilal Muhammad more. If I was Kamaru Usman, if Usman was a smart businessman and a brave fighter who doesn't want to sit out and be gifted a title shot, this is what he done. This is what you should have done. You accept the Bilal Muhammad call out. All right? You accept the Bilal Muhammad call out. You guys are in the same stage of your career. Usman versus Bilal, 2 former champs with pretty similar styles, right? You accept the call out, then you release the podcast where Bilal Muhammad was talking shit to you and Henry Cejudo on your podcast. Biggest fight of welterweight. Usman missed out. You live in America, brother? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In the Midwest of America. Yes, in the Midwest. Midwest nation. And yeah, I mean, shit. It's still fall around here, but it's finally, you know, it ain't Florida weather. It's not Florida weather, I'll tell you that. It's not the worst either, though. You could definitely walk around without a jacket right now in the Midwest. But yeah, Midwest, America. I'm guessing you're across the pond, right? Shout out to the subs from across the pond. Oh, you're not across the pond. You're in Arizona. All right, I'm in the mitten. I'm in the mitten. You're in Arizona. We got O'Malley. You got O'Malley, but wait. Back in the day, didn't you have... Oh, no, Cain Velasquez went to college there. But didn't you have Henry Cejudo? But he's retired almost. I know he's fighting Tab, but yeah. You just got the bantamweights, bro. You got O'Malley and Cejudo. Polar opposites. I think O'Malley has a farm over there or some shit, right? In Arizona? All right, shout out to Arizona. I need to make a trip out there to the Grand Canyon. I've been to Vegas. I was supposed to go to Arizona one time, but something happened, so I'm going to have to go back to that desert. I'm going to have to collect a cactus, go to the Grand Canyon, do some cool shit. The dry air over there, right? You guys can breathe at least. Dry air, that's cool. It irons your shirt out for you, huh? I live in West Coast, Canada. All right, all right. I'm right by you then. Like I said, I'm Midwest. I'm from the mitten. I could be in Canada in an hour or two if I wanted to. You know what? I've been to Canada. Guess where I went? I went to Niagara Falls. I went on the boat where I could see New York out my hotel room. I was in Canada, Niagara Falls, Ontario. It was a cool time. I went in the summer. I was in attendance for UFC Vancouver. Born and raised here. That's what's up. That's what's up. Shout out Vancouver. Do you watch hockey? Are you a fan of the Vancouver Canucks? I'm a Detroit Red Wings fan, and I gotta say, whenever we play a Canadian team, it's the most hyped atmosphere in the arena when the Detroit Red Wings play a Canadian team. You guys bring that hockey energy. And that you were in attendance for that card. That was a crazy card. That was a pretty crazy card. Don't go in the summer. Oh, bro. I'll get cooked, right? I hear you. I'll get cooked. But at least you don't have that crazy humidity where you can't breathe, you know? Like Florida. At least you guys can breathe, but I'll take your advice. But if I do go in the summer, it's got to be by a pool or some shit, right? Islam by sub, round 1 or 2. Ooh. Yeah. Before everyone keeps sweating and stuff. And the chokes don't work. Before they get all bloodied up. You know, it's always good to get it's always higher odds to get a submission before everyone's all sweaty and bloody, right? Well, I guess we'll have to find out. I'm dropping my pick Sunday. I will say this, though. Islam Makhachev, I think his last win was Poirier. That was a round 5 submission. He can pull it off in round 5. Like he did against Poirier. I mean, that was literally last second. Rabbit out of the hat. Last trick out of the hat for Islam Makhachev. That was his Hail Mary and it worked. I went to one UFC fight. Gane versus Ngannou. And I saw Madalena first fight in the UFC. That's what's up. Gane versus Ngannou. Now, that's cool. You know what? I went to a banger card. I saw Francis Ngannou fight live too. Guess what card? The only card I've been to and my first UFC card live in attendance. UFC 218. Little Caesars Arena. Max Holloway versus Jose Aldo 2. Co-main event. Ngannou killed Overeem, decapitated him. We had Eddie Alvarez versus Gaethje on the card. Fight of the night. Henry Cejudo fought Sergio Pettis. And then on the prelims, it was fight of the year. I had Cowboy Oliveira versus, what's his face? Yancy Medeiros. I got to witness that fight live. I think that's still the best fight ever till this day. If you're a fight fan and you haven't watched Yancy Medeiros versus Cowboy Oliveira, look it up. Look it up. I say round one. Not a bad pick. Look out for my prediction video Sunday. You watch hockey a lot? My friends do. I mostly just watch when the Red Wings are playing. Red Wings lost today. I saw it at the bar. We lost against New York Rangers, Red Wings. But I only watch for Red Wings, you know. My friend Alec keeps me informed on the rest. But I love going live to a hockey game. I will never turn down a live hockey game. I went to the Tampa Bay Lightning Arena too one time. Islam is the best, bro. He's not losing. Islam's pretty fucking good. Hey, he's been pound for pound for a reason. He's just not that active, but who is these days besides Marab and Holland? Who might be taking falls, who might be taking dives, who knows? We need more active fighters. And contenders should be more active than champions. I think Jack is going to leave Makhachev seizing up on the ground. That's my prediction. Well, you know what? Islam's been KO'd before by a nobody. The question is, does Jack really have that power? Is he really like a Topuria for his weight division, of course? Does he have that sleeper? That's the question. Does he have that sleeper? Or is Bilal's big melon head that good of a chin? Valentina versus Zhang is hard to pick, man. I think Zhang might KO her. Very hard pick. I look at it like this. Valentina is the GSP of women's MMA. Does everything right, but doesn't go out of her way to get the finish. But technically does everything right, but doesn't take risks. If there's going to be a finish, I'm leaning Wei Li. But if it goes to decision, Valentina's pretty good, pretty technical. But Wei Li's got that power. I've never seen a more powerful women's fighter. And Wei Li's got the IQ. I was just studying that fight today. I think I made a pretty solid breakdown for it. Tough pick. Hey, that's what a super fight's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a who the fuck knows type of fight, right? Those are the best fights. Jack doesn't have finishing power. Hey, yeah, people forget Kevin Holland went to split decision with Jack. People forget, man, Jack went to split decision with Kevin Holland. I agree, his punches haven't slept anybody. But what about his knee? That knee up the middle will KO anybody. He's really good at bringing that knee up to your chin. He doesn't even have to jump. Madalena's my favorite fighter. If he wins, I'm going to be going crazy. JDM is becoming a fan favorite. It's because he's got that BMF style. He's not doing corny, cringy TikToks every day. He's not an influencer. And what else? I don't know. He's just a cool, chill guy, I guess. His style. It's really his style. And I guess it helps that he looks like a badass. He looks like a scary dude with the nose plastered across his face. Love the Chinese. Zhang Weili's got to be the most accomplished Chinese fighter. Who's more accomplished Chinese fighter than Zhang Weili. I'll wait. Jack is overrated. Jack is overrated, huh? Well, I mean, I don't know if he's overrated, but I will say this. He was gifted a title shot. If you look at his fights before Bilal Muhammad, he fought for the title in May 2025. His last fight before that was a Gilbert Burns fight, March 2024. And before that, a split decision to Kevin Holland. So technically, he didn't deserve that title fight. But shit happened. Shavkat got injured. And then they swapped out Leon Edwards. Or they put Sean Brady against Edwards. It was supposed to be Jack versus Edwards. Struggled against Burns. I'm not sure what Bilal was doing. Bilal tried to prove that he's exciting and a scrapper. Yeah, why was Bilal fighting like that? Bilal could have won if he used Islam Makhachev IQ. I really think Bilal could have won if he actually shot those takedowns and he didn't play into the narrative, Canelo hands, Canelo hands. You proved it round one. You got some decent scrapping. You got some decent striking. You're exciting, but let's put the Canelo hands to rest and let's shoot a takedown and let's Canelo hands with the ground and pound. Bilal messed up. You're right. He had the skills to do it, but the game plan was off. You listen to any Detroit rappers, my favorite rapper is in Detroit. Well, there's a lot of Detroit rappers. Are you talking the mainstream? Like, as mainstream as it gets is Eminem. I seen him live twice. Are you talking T Grizzly? He's pretty mainstream. He collabs with the Atlanta rappers. A little more underground, but still mainstream. Are you talking... Well, Big Sean's mainstream. More underground, I don't know. Are you talking Sada Baby? Sada Baby's funny. There's a lot. What rapper are you talking about? There's a lot more. Oh, Doughboy's Cash Out. I'm talking Payroll Giovanni. Yeah, I know Doughboy's Cash Out. They used to hang out at this one roller rink by me. Yeah, Doughboy's Cash Out. I know, the Payroll Giovanni. Yeah, there's been a lot of Detroit rappers like Peasy, Icewear Vezo. Do you know Icewear Vezo? There's a lot. There's a... Didn't Big Sean have a Friday Night Cypher with everyone on it? Like every artist on it? Oh yeah, Royce the 5'9", but he's not that big. He's not that popular, but... Oh, 42 Doug. I know 42 Doug. Yeah, he dropped some new songs. Payroll. I love Detroit rappers. So talented. That's cool. That's what's up. I mean, they got their own style. Their style is like... It's like... How would I describe it? It's perfect music to bump while you're driving around. It's funny and it's got that offbeat flow. They're never rapping on beat. But that's intentional. That's their style. 42 Doug, yeah, it's best to play it while you're in the car. While you're in the whip driving around. That's the best time to play it. That's the best way to describe it. Offbeat, hilarious, funny. Drive around, bump it in the car type music. I was 12 when I started listening to Doughboys and Payroll. I'm 25 now. Okay, yeah. I've been listening to them for a minute. Oh, man. Let's see. Now, we got some rappers in MMA. Bryce Mitchell, is Bryce Mitchell the best rapper in MMA? Didn't Daniel Rodriguez walk out to his own rap song? Or am I just making shit up? Waiting on the Bryce Mitchell Christian album dropping. When is that dropping? You 27, brother? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What a lucky guess. Wow. You are good. Are you an age reader? Wow, impressive. You are good. Literally right on the dot. ASAP Rock new album. Heard it's a mess there too. Oh yeah, you've been talking about that a lot, huh, Rob? You've been talking a lot about that album. You've been talking a lot, okay. ASAP Rock. Now, I thought you were talking ASAP Rocky at first. You're talking the other dude. Okay, you're talking about the guy from New York. Alright, alright, alright. Who does he have songs with? Maybe he collabed with some artists I know. You know, my favorite band right now. Well, we're talking about rappers, so. I've been listening to a lot of other genres too, you know. I went to a Primus concert this summer. You're actually 27? Wow, I just guessed that. You're on the money. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I turned 26 on January 14th. Hey, at least your birthday's after Christmas. At least it's a little ways from Christmas. At least you're a little ways from Christmas. Check out Palmer Squares. Palmer Squares. Okay. Palmer Squares. Maybe. Yeah, I'll probably check them out. Why not? I've been listening to a lot of Primus, though. I would describe them as goblin rock. Psychedelic rock. They're trippy. Never heard anything like it before. They should make Saul Killed versus Ruffy. Yeah. Yeah. Saul Killed's the up-and-comer. Ruffy was a up-and-comer. But he really... he really fucked up against BSD. Yeah, that'd be a good fight. Which up-and-comer is the legit up-and-comer? It's not rap. He's a lyricist. One of a kind. Interesting. Interesting. It's not rap. He's a lyricist, huh? Alright, alright. What's the difference between a rapper and a lyricist? Aren't lyricists rappers? Do you like rock music like Creed? Yes. Yeah, I like hip hop, but lately I've been going to a lot of rock concerts over like in the summer. Absolutely, yes. Like I saw Godsmack, I saw Stained, I saw Primus, I saw Rob Zombie, I saw a lot of people. Cooper. I've seen a lot of people. A lot of good concerts. Collective Soul. Primus was my favorite, though. Rhyme Sayers Entertainment with Slug from Atmosphere. I gotta check these out. What else we got here? You Blaze, bro? Yes. Here and there, yeah. Why not? Yeah. I do what Carlos Prates does, but now with the cigarette. With the greenery. With the Mary Jane. You saw Stain? That's cool. Yeah, they opened up for Godsmack and they almost stole the show. I thought they were going to play some slow tunes. They were rocking out. They went crazy. I saw Korn before as well. Aspinall sleeps gone in the rematch. I hope. One can hope. One can hope. I would love if the rematch was December UFC 323, but that's wishful thinking. Yeah, it's rap, but more like true hip-hop. Gotcha. Gotcha. Rap, but more like true hip-hop. I gotcha. Creed is alternative rock. Yes. I haven't watched a single pay-per-view sober in like 5 years. Always stoned for them. Hey, sometimes when you're stoned watching the fights, it feels like you're in the fight. Sometimes you're more nervous than the fighters themselves. I get you. Yeah. It's a good time, you know. It's a good time to watch the fights, kick back. Those are the best fans. I always say the best fans are the 9-to-5ers with beers in their hand. Not the Abu Dhabi billionaires. Metalcore. Oh wait, I missed something. Are you Christian? I would say I align most with that. Yeah. I would say I align most with that than the others. LOL, Tom has a solid resume at heavyweight. There's no reason why he doesn't. I don't like that Cyril Gane shady character. Yeah, Cyril Gane, he's a company man 101. He's company man 101. He was a stepping stone for Jon Jones. FBI, you know, just investigate that one, all right? Let's investigate the Jones versus Gane fight. Tom McDonald is one of a kind. I never got into Tom McDonald. I don't know what it was. Trying too hard to... I don't know. I never got into Tom McDonald. Isn't that crazy? I don't know what it is. Imagine doing LSD for a Yuri fight. Madness. Damn, yeah. Madness. Honestly, yeah. Now, I listen to Primus, but I don't know. I'm not Mr. Psychedelic guy, but, you know, maybe shrooms one day. Put them on my pizza, you know. I like the real hardcore metalcore, like Currents and Architects. Nothing wrong with some metalcore and real hardcore, yeah. What do I got on my playlist right now? Nothing wrong with that. That's a good genre. Soundgarden's pretty good. There's this band called Crowbar. Not bad. Sore. Another trippy one is Tool. They're pretty trippy. But yeah, a Yuri fight is madness no matter what you're doing. No matter what you're doing. A Yuri fight is just absolute insanity. But yeah, I think rock concerts are the best concerts. Call me crazy. Check out the band Presidents. Will do. Will do. Absolutely. I'll check them out. I'll write it down in my notes. I'm always adding new shit to the playlist all the time. Yuri lost to Potan twice. Yeah, that's his only kryptonite. You know? Funny enough, the only guy with more aura than Yuri is his kryptonite. That's how good Potan is. Damn. Potan's good. He checks all the boxes. Yeah, I mean, he's a star. He promotes himself, knocks people out. Has the aura. Bruce Buffer called him the one, the only. He is the biggest star. Topuria is not taking advantage of his name, of his star power. Alex Pereira takes advantage of his star power. I was working so much and I was missing UFC most of the time. But I came back and watched Yuri vs. Khalil. And it got me back into the UFC. That's awesome. Those fights that get people back into watching or watching in the first place. Damn. Damn, yeah. What a fight. That was one of the best comebacks ever. Another crazy comeback fight that comes to mind is Stipe vs. DC number 2. He might be a GOAT. A W over Jones or Aspinall could do it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He beat Magomed. He beat Yuri. Beat Khalil. Beat Izzy. The Jan Blachowicz fight, questionable. That was his only rough one. The Jan Blachowicz fight. That was a rough one. And that first Yuri fight was a questionable stoppage. Too early. But he won the Yuri rematch. But Jan gave Pierre the biggest run for his money. Jan's the only guy to hold Pierre down for a minute. A lot of people forgot about that fight. That was Pierre's first light heavyweight fight. You know? I remember that one. I was like, oh shit. Pierre is moving up. But yeah, you said a dub over Jon Jones or Tom Aspinall could do it for Alex Pereira, right? Could be. What fight do you want to see more? What fight do you want to see more? Pereira versus who? Ulberg, Jones, or Aspinall? Pereira has 3 options. If I was to make a prediction, I say Potan knocks out Jones at the White House. Yeah, Jones was getting tagged by old man Stipe. And Stipe was a beast in his prime. But Jones was getting tagged by old man Stipe. Coming off the couch. I could see Pereira landing a hook. But Jon Jones likes that fight because he knows he can control Pereira in the grappling if he gets a takedown. He knows he can hold Pereira down there. Jan got screwed by the judges a few times, and the commentators hate him. He got screwed over, yeah. Commentators hate him. It seems like it. They don't care about Polish power. I still can't believe Jan got smoked by Glover like that. That's how Glover became champion, right? Didn't he just take Jan's back like it was nothing? That was crazy. You think, John, your prediction is Pereira knocks out Jones at the White House, then calls out Aspinall. Wow. Interesting prediction. You might be onto something. You might be onto something. And Star Set. The band Star Set. Alright. Alright. Oh yeah, alternative rock. Yep. I'll look them up, no doubt. What about Ozzy? You listen to Ozzy? Did you have any Black Sabbath in the playlist? I think Jan versus Glover was suspect. Jan might have took a dive. That was a weird one. Glover got a back take pretty easily from what I remember. Pierre calls out Aspinall, then knocks out Aspinall, and retires as the GOAT. Wow, that's really... I don't know if he can do all that, but he's up there. But to say he's going to knock out Jones and Aspinall, those are big goals. That's shooting for the stars right there. But I would say, yeah, if Pierre becomes a 3-division UFC champion, the first one to do it, he could be labeled as one of the Mount Rushmore fighters. If he gets that third belt, that heavyweight belt, they might put him on the Mount Rushmore. They might. But yeah, speaking of that, check my video out. Top 5 most fixed UFC fights. Let me know what you think. Allegedly fixed. But hopefully we get no corrupt judging and reffing on UFC 322. Even tomorrow. We got our eyes closed. We got our eyes peeled on the corrupt judges and reffing. Of course he can. He rolled Ankh. He did smoke big Ankh. He did. That was crazy. UFC 320 was pretty solid. I'll give it that. UFC 320 was solid. Tom's training partner said he had 33 pro fights without one eye poke. There goes that magic. Masonic number Disney's Club 33. Yeah, that's their number. I wonder if that's really Tom's friend. I wonder if he's really a true friend to Tom. What's up, Big Meech? What up, AJ Manx? What up? How's it going, bro? How are you recovering after that Red Wings loss? You might need to take a shot after that one, right? We'll get him next time. Hey, we got AJ Manx in the chat. Biggest hockey fan I know. And we got some Vancouver hockey fans in the chat as well. All right. Jones is the Coke GOAT, an undisputed drunk driving champion. Yeah. Yeah, he's the crashing into a pregnant lady drunk driving champion. He's the sniffing Russian dude's hairs on a motorcycle champion. He's the knockout Daniel Cormier on steroids champion. He's the chicken-legged champion. He's a champion of a lot of things. I think the UFC might be designed as a hidden extortion ring in plain sight. We're going to learn a lot about the UFC coming up this year. We're going to learn a lot. Dana White needs to be investigated as well. But yeah, are you saying maybe they're putting fighters against their own will to take dives? Is that what you're insinuating? It's going, man. Can't win them all. You're right. Can't win them all. Can't win them all. They might have won the battle, but we're going to win the war. Did you know Silver Lake owns UFC and Silver Lake bought TikTok? Not aware of the name Silver Lake. I was aware that the company Endeavor / TKO owns UFC along with Disney and WWE. Silver Lake, huh? They bought TikTok, huh? Okay. Interesting. What do you think the parallel is there? They own TikTok in the UFC. Silver Lake bought Endeavor, really? What? They must be billionaires, obviously. $25 billion deal? Silver Lake acquired Endeavor Group Holdings in a $25 billion deal, taking the sports and entertainment company private in March 2025. Oh, this happened during Pierre versus Magomed, the first fight. Who owns Silver Lake? Is it the same owner as Endeavor? Okay, so Mark Shapiro leads the WMEING group. Ari Emanuel exits as CEO. Okay. Fuck all these company, man. Fuck them. Gary decision. Prates by KO, my picks. Well, those are different cards, but okay. Ian Gary by decision. Not a bad prediction. That's a smart one. I'm sure the odds makers would agree. I'm not sure how much money there is to be made on that, but yeah. If Ian Gary wins, when is it not by decision? When is the last time Ian Gary finished someone? The last time Ian Gary finished someone was what? D-Rod? D-Rod? How many years ago was that? And Prates by KO. Those are safe picks. Those are safe picks. I will say, though, I think Leon has a more of a chance than people are giving him. But, yeah, I think Leon Edwards not mentally where he needs to be. I think he's trapped in his own head. I don't know if Leon Edwards can deal with losses. Both good fights. Gary is battle-tested. That Shavkat fight was an impressive loss. I hated that Shavkat fight. Sure, it might have been impressive that he took Shavkat's back. I swear that fight ruined the card for me. It was 5 rounds of boring clinching with no strikes being thrown in the clinch. It was just... I swear, I hated that fight so much. Gary versus Shavkat. I think he was on a good card, too. It is what it is. Someone asked you if you thought Dana White was at the P. Diddy parties. They don't call it the all-white parties for nothing. Yeah, Dana was at that one. And he was probably dressed as a girl, right? His name's Dana. A woman's name. He probably dressed up as P. Diddy wanted him to. Like an actual Dana. He turned into woman Dana. That's a girl's name, right? Dana. Imagine being named Dana. Or Ariel. Imagine being named Ariel after a mermaid. Silver Lake must be owned by BlackRock. Silver Lake. Yeah. Would have to research that one. Sure, there's a lot of digging you could do on them. But yeah, we got good fights up on deck. We're all over the place. 322 and then the fight card after that. But yeah, I didn't know Endeavor got bought by Silver Lake. The more you know, the more you know. There wasn't even news about that. There wasn't some announcement about that. That's interesting. I barely heard about it. And Jon Jones probably owns them all. Seems like Jon Jones is running shit these days. Gary can't even finish his girl. That's why she keeps her ex around in the same house. I believe it because he's so feminine. Why does he act so feminine? Why is his voice like... sounds like a croaking frog? Ian Gary, man, he's got some Michael Chandler vibes. He's like the feminine version. W to the channel, bro. Videos are great. Thanks, Nathan. Thank you. Appreciate that. That means a lot. That's what's up. We're going to keep it going. We're just getting started. That's what's up. That's good to hear, honestly. Thoughts on MMA Joey? Thoughts on MMA Joey? I think he does his research pretty good. He does good research and deep dive. But it seems like he just rage baits about Muslim fighters and stuff. I already know what he's going to say every time something happens. I know who he's going to side with. The Muslim fighter. Yeah, he talks about MMA, but it seems like his channel is more of a Muslim channel than an MMA channel. If that makes sense. From what I saw. Seems like he does his research and he puts effort in his videos, but does he have an MMA channel or a Muslim channel? You tell me. It seems like he only supports Bilal, Ankh, Hamzat. Seems like he really, really hates the other fighters. So I think he's just biased to them. Might be rage bait. Might just be to get a fan base. Nothing against Muslim fighters, but let's not act like they're the most hated thing in the sport. I guarantee Bryce Mitchell catches more shit than all those guys that MMA Joey supports combined. Shaved Cat. I mean, Shavkat Rakhmonov supposedly retired. Or was that clickbait? Wow. I haven't been keeping up with the Shavkat news. It hasn't hit my radar, but I hope he comes back. If he doesn't, Usman is out of luck. Sorry, Usman. You missed your opportunity against Bilal. If that's true and Shavkat's retired, Usman, you're going to be left solo. You're going to have no one to fight. No dance partner. You're not getting the title shot. Usman better hope Shavkat comes back. Do you think your channel will get big, or are you just having fun? It's going to get big. You know, channel's going to get bigger. The channel's going to move up in weight. All right? The channel's bulking up. We're moving up in weight. Yeah, the channel's going to get big, but we're going to have fun while that's going down. So yeah, the goal is for the channel to get big, but to have fun. Because you make good vids, just keep going against the establishment. That's what's up. All right, appreciate that. Thank you, man. That means a lot. I'm going to keep just calling it how I see it, you know? Absolutely. Shout out to you. Thank you. He's a bum. I'm guessing you're talking about Joey. Muslim fighters are hard to beat, bro. They are so disciplined. I know. It's almost like... I mean this in the nicest way possible, but it's like... the people from the mountains, they don't have much of a life. I don't know if they have a life, and that helps their fights. That helps them in fights. You know, I don't think they need to live that boring of a lifestyle, but we can learn from them. We can get off the phones a little more. We can start teaching wrestling to all the people in school. I think wrestling and stuff should be mandatory at school, even if you're not a fighter. Basic shit like that. A lot of those guys are learning hip tosses at age 5. Absolutely. Like Islam Makhachev, he ain't going out. That's why Khabib probably beat Conor. Conor was on this proper 12. I really think Conor could have beat Khabib if he really, really dialed in and he actually wasn't surrounded by yes men every second. I hope you make it big so you don't have to be like the rest of us, working 9 to 5. Thanks, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's the goal, but some people like 9 to 5. Not everybody. Majority don't. So, I hope people can get out of it if they want to, but some people do just want a normal 9 to 5, and I get it. But yeah, if you don't like it, that's tough. That is tough. Appreciate it, man. What do you guys do? What are some of the jobs that you guys are doing right now? I'm curious to know. What 9 to 5 are we talking here? Office job? What are we talking here? I hope you make it too, Big Meech. Thank you, AJ Manx. Thank you. I told you about the channel, and it's been growing since. We're going to be doing more live streams. We're going to keep posting consistently. It's just I started my channel in the year. I started my MMA channel this year during one of the shittiest years of UFC cards. So I just need a couple banger cards, and we'll really get this shit rolling. We need a couple mega cards for that Paramount deal. We need to start the year off strong, and I think this channel will really get rolling. We're for sure not going to get the ball rolling with Apex events back to back, I'll tell you that. I'm waiting for the Volk announcement. I'm waiting for the Topuria announcement. It's not just that, they changed the criteria for them. If the fights are close, they always give it to them 9 out of 10. Yeah, it's crazy how the UFC wants the neckbeard look to be the face of the sport. Like, I don't care, like, whatever, favoritism, whatever, but why are they so consistent in wanting the neckbeard fighters to be the face of their sport? They'll never be global superstars. That style is not cool enough, the neckbeard look. I like Islam, but he's never going to be a megastar in America because, you know, the neckbeard look just ain't it. I don't know why the UFC wants that as the face of their brand. I work at a power plant as a power engineer. I do 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. Wow, 7 to 7. All right. Power engineer. I finished university when I was 23. I'm 26 soon. Hey, the positives, though, is you already got your work established. I'm sure you're going to be moving up. You already got the experience. So that's some positive in it. Unless you absolutely hate being in the plant. But some people don't mind. But 7 to 7 is no joke either, you know. You're doing the 12 hours. And Monday through Friday. I'm looking at the positives. You get your weekends, right? And hopefully you get some time off. Some paid time off when need be. I finished university when I was 23. I'm 26. I read that. Ilya versus Paddy is a great fight. It's a great fight. But I don't want Paddy to be looked at as a guy who got leapfrogged. I want Paddy to have earned it. Damn it, why didn't the UFC book Paddy Gaethje? Because Gaethje's bitching out, I guess. I'm sorry, if Gaethje's bitching out, give Paddy another opponent. Anybody. I'm not ready for Paddy Topuria right now. To me, that's a one-sided fight for Topuria in my eyes. I work at Walmart right now, but I'm going to try and start a career real soon. Hey, I love Walmart. I just like walking up and down the aisles. I don't even got to buy anything. Kmart, Walmart, Target. Hey, that's still a job. A job's a job. How do you like it? Does anything interesting happen? Or do people just annoy you about, where is this? Where's that? You work in the electronic department or what? I'll be stopping there real soon for Christmas shopping. I'm an arborist. I do my own tree thing. Big truck trailer, all the climbing gear, trimming removals. I keep it small and medium, no big company. Wow, you do your own thing. That's what's up. You're cutting down the Florida trees. Don't cut down the awesome palm trees though, man. Yeah, that's not an easy job. You can't be afraid of heights. You can't be afraid of heights. Don't look down. But yeah, you got to know your shit for that. That's labor. That's what's up. That's a job that'll always be needed. Yeah, I'm guessing you're not afraid of heights. I don't mind that. Yeah, cut that stupid tree that's near my house that if there's a storm, it's going to tumble on my roof. Cut it down. I just don't support cutting down wildlife in their woods and their trees. But yeah, that stupid tree next to my house that's dangling over my roof, cut it down. Islam, Pereira, Hamza, and Ilya are the stars of the UFC right now. Yeah, I think you're missing one, though. Are you missing one? I think you got it, yeah. I think you're right. I'm trying to think of any you missed. Izzy's kind of done. He's not a star that much anymore. Yeah, I think you're onto something. Those are the stars, you're right. Do you train any part of martial arts? I do got my purple belt in jiu-jitsu. With the gi and the no gi. So yeah, jiu-jitsu. I would say that would be my best martial art. Got a purple belt in that. But I do know some striking just from sparring. No competition, but I competed in jiu-jitsu a couple times. Got the purple belt. And when I got the purple belt, they whip you with the belt till you're all bruised up for like the ceremony. Yeah, it's going solid for me. Make a lot of money. Gotta handle a lot of bills and stuff as well. You can say that again. Damn right. Damn right. I'm glad it's going good. That's what's up. And you got the weekends. So that's what's up. Hopefully you get your PTO as well. Everyone needs a vacay here and there. Patty is the real deal. Do Armin versus Patty then. There you go. There we go. Armin versus Patty. Shout out to the cat. Armin versus Patty. My cat agrees. That should have been the fight. Those are the two youngest prospects in the division. Fun fact. Armin is younger than Patty. I bet no one knew that. Armin is the younger fighter. I bet everyone thought Patty's younger than Armin. Armin's the younger fighter. Isn't that crazy? I am working a factory job hours. Kind of unpredictable, but it's a fairly easy factory job, so I won't complain. Yeah, AJ Manx. Better than Burger King, I'll tell you that. You got perks in your job, right? That's what's up. And your overtime is optional. You don't have to do it. It's optional, right? So that's cool. You're doing better than Burger King. That's what's up. Yeah, lots of interesting people. Sometimes people get arrested. I work in the front end. Oh, yeah, you see the crazy people? Oh, yeah, yeah. At the Walmart. They're trying to steal shit. I live by 2 crazy Walmarts where it's guaranteed if you walk in there, the alarm's sounding off, something's been stolen, security's all at the door, checking your bags. There's always shit going down at the Walmarts by me. You could write a book. You could make a movie. So yeah, I'm sure you see some craziness. And Christmas is coming up. Wait till the holidays, bro. Oh my God. I'd rather trim palms. Nice and neat. But if I have to take them out, I will. I love palm trees. Hell yeah. I'd trim another tree. Who's your top 3 favorite fighters? Mine's Holloway, Petr Yan, and Yuri. Mine are fairly similar to yours. But I'm going to go... Are you talking current? Alright, current fighters? Yeah. Max. I agree with you on Max Yuri. Bryce. Piera for sure. What else are we looking at here? Prates is cool too. Like fight style wise. Off the top of my head, those are my favorites right now. But yeah, Petr Yan's up there. He might be my favorite bantamweight fighter. Absolutely. Paddy would probably be one of my favorite fighters if he fought more. If he fought more, but he doesn't fight that much. There's so many fighters that could be my favorite fighter if they fought more, you know? Who else? Who else is up there in my top 5 favorite fighters? Did I miss anybody? I feel like I'm missing someone here. Diego Lopez is cool, but he's not my favorite. I like Charlie Olives, even though he's at the tail end of his career. I like Charlie Olives. Dan Hooker's up there. Moicano's hilarious. Yeah, I have a couple favorites. They're mostly in the lower weight classes. Patty's Pub from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Patty's Pub. I just went to a bar called O'Malley's Pub. How long did it take you to level up to purple belt? Also, thoughts on Derek Moneyberg getting a black belt in 3.5 years. Well, let's see here. I probably have the exact timeline on my phone. I started in 2018. Let's see when I got that purple belt. I started in 2018. I think it took 3 years. 3 years of training, but technically it took longer because COVID and all that bullshit. And there was a little layoff I had. But as far as training, you know, it was about 3 solid years of consistent training. 3 days a week or 3+ days a week. Got the blue belt in about a year of training. 3 days a week. A little over a year, like 14 months, something like that. Yeah, by purple belt, you kind of know your game. You know? White belt, you learn all the escapes. Blue belt, you start being more offensive. And then purple belt, you got your game. Paddy's a cool dude, but beating Michael Chandler shouldn't get you a title shot. Not only is it rigged, it's becoming the ultimate following contest. I hate that. Beating Michael Chandler and getting a title shot. Michael Chandler's last win was the corpse of Tony Ferguson. You know? And then Paddy's argument, because Islam called that out. He said the exact same thing. Bro, Paddy's not a real threat for the title. He only beat Chandler. Paddy said, well, you got a title shot off beating Bobby Green and all this stuff, right? Did Islam really get a title shot from beating Bobby Green? You know what it was, though? I think there was no other contenders for Charles at the time. Charles wiped out everybody. All there was left was Islam. But yeah, Michael Chandler should not be a shortcut to the title shot. It's getting played out already. It's getting overplayed. Diego Lopez should make that list too. He's up there. He's up there. He's getting more exciting. He's adding new tools, spinning elbow. He really surprised me against Gene Silva. Bryce Mitchell and Fluffy, two of my favorite people in the UFC and fighters. I get the Bryce Mitchell, but why Fluffy? Just wondering. Nothing wrong with him. But I would say he doesn't have the most fan-friendly style. He's not too brash outside of the cage. What is it about Fluffy that stands out, you know? Can you believe that once upon a time Kevin Holland beat Fluffy? That's hard to believe. But yeah, Diego Lopez is on there. I made a BMF tier list before. I might have to remake one. Who are some honorable mentions? Favorite fighters, honorable mentions. Derek Lewis used to be one of my faves, but if we're talking about current active fighters, fuck. I think we listed them all. Maybe Sean Brady after this weekend. Let's see him put in some work. I root for underdogs. I root for the people that the UFC are brushing off to the side and mistreating. Yeah, some fighters have the most random losses. Like Amavov has lost he's lost to Phil fucking Hawes. That's crazy. Is Amavov really going to get the title shot at middleweight? I don't know. Why am I not pumped about Khamzat versus Amavov potentially? Like, I was so hyped for Dricus Khamzat, and then we wound up disappointed. It's so disappointing that that fight wasn't a banger. That fight wasn't a scrap. Because there was so much on the line for that fight. I wish Khamzat looked better in that fight. I wish Dricus looked better in that fight. Kind of threw the division off, having that type of performance in that title fight. RDR's just lost. Middleweight's weird. Brendan Allen. You know, there might be an American takeover at middleweight. Whoa, hold up. Besides Amavov, the French dude, and Dricus and Khamzat, we're having a middleweight takeover. Strickland's probably going to fight Fluffy. They're both American. And then we got Brendan Allen in the wings. If you want the Americans to pull through, check it out. Check it out. We got Malcolm Wellmaker. He'll be in the rankings soon at bantamweight. Who cares about Aljo at featherweight? I know, but yeah, we got Complainer Gaethje and Holloway at lightweight, even though Holloway's Hawaiian. Sean Brady, welterweight. Strickland, Allen, Fluffy, all at middleweight. Shouldn't be about popularity. Should be about the best mixed martial artists. We all know who the fun fighters are. Shouldn't be about where you're from or what you look. Yeah, it should just be whoever is the best. And if you're entertaining, great. Great. You get promoted even more. You know? We shouldn't force fighters that try to look like 6'9" down people's throats. We shouldn't force the Aaron Picos, the Bo Nichols, and the Chandlers down people's throats. It's getting overplayed, the company man shit. They're trying to shove Ayman Zahabi in our face. How interesting can Ayman Zahabi get? He can't get any interesting. He's not. Nasruddin is real good. He is real good, but he's got to watch it. He's an eye poker as well. He trains with Cyril. And I swear to God, if he eye pokes, take a point. No warning. He's got to quit that shit. A lot of fighters need to quit that shit. I have zero interest in Chimaev versus Imavov. I'd be super hyped for Khamzat versus Strickland, though. I think that's got to be the move. Strickland versus Fluffy. Winner gets title shot. In the meantime, we can do Brendan Allen versus Dreykus. Let's get it going. But I think, unfortunately, Imavov is going to get the title shot. Khamzat subs him. Middle rounds. No way. I think Khamzat beats everybody in the middleweight division. Easily. But I hope Strickland... Gosh, Strickland's so boring. I can't believe I'm talking about him in another title shot. After he failed twice against Dreykus. Crazy. Fluffy beats Strickland. We're going to find out. We're going to find out who's the most dangerous threat for Khamzat in that Strickland versus Fluffy fight. Fluffy beats Strickland. That'll be a close one. I bet Fluffy might be the favorite. You're right. Tony Ferguson would have been the coolest champion, but they went out of their way to make sure he didn't get it. Tony Ferguson's my favorite fighter of all time. In 2015, I had so many more favorite fighters. Like, my favorite fighter list was so different. Prime Connor, Tony Ferguson. There was so many favorite fighters I had in 2015. Robbie Lawler, ruthless Robbie Lawler. We need to get back to those type of fighters. What? No, Aspinall faked it. Well, even if people think Aspinall faked it, I say Aspinall has more of a right to quit the fight rather than Cyril Gane has a right to poke eyeballs. I think if you get poked, you know, and you decide to quit, let's blame the guy who poked the eyes. Let's blame the UFC. Let's take a point away, accident or not, and then we won't have to worry about the quitters because the eye pokes will stop eventually. Take a point. If not, take 10%, take 20% of the purse. Strickland ain't that guy. Strickland is suspended. Yeah, but how serious can we take the UFC suspension? He's suspended, but I'm sure he'll be back in time when he needs to fight, right? He'll be back in time. It can't be much longer. I mean, Connor's suspension conveniently ends right before the White House card. Shout out everyone in the chat. Make sure you hit like and subscribe as well. Shout out everyone in the chat. Hit like, hit subscribe for sure. while I got everyone here. Strickland beat Dricus the first time and got robbed. I don't know. That was anyone's fight. I would say Dricus won. He went for it more. He was the aggressor. Strickland will be on the back foot and smashed by Fluffy. I like Strickland, but he's boring, not Fluffy. He doesn't just lay and pray. He big brothers your ass. Fluffy's best moment was when he dragged Roman Dolidze by the scruff of the neck and rear naked choked him in the middle of the canvas. That was pretty sick. That was more entertaining than... Strickland's last entertaining fight was against that German-Russian guy, Abus Magomedov. That was Strickland's last entertaining win. Think about that. Ferguson got KO'd by Chandler. He's at the bottom of the barrel. Chandler loses to everyone. No, I'm talking about 12-fight win streak, Tony. I'm talking about 2014 all the way to 2019 Tony Ferguson. The boogeyman, El Kukui. The guy from that interview where he said, "Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?" That guy. Conor was scared of him. They had the same manager at the time. Nate didn't accept that fight on short notice when Khabib pulled out UFC 209. He was truly the boogeyman. People didn't want that smoke with Tony. Look up UFC 209. Khabib was scared shitless. Tony actually got under Khabib's skin. Conor couldn't even get under Khabib's skin. Only Tony could. What else did I miss? Oh, we're talking about Aspinall. No, he doesn't. He didn't get poked in the eye. Gon's fingers were pointed to the ceiling. We trained to punch each other in the eye. Cyril Gane has a track record of being dirty. He's poked other people before and back of the head strikes. So we got to keep our eyes peeled on Cyril Gane and his teammate Imavov. It doesn't matter if it was an accident or not. Take a point. UFC is to blame. They're allowing this shit. And if I'm a dirty piece of shit fighter, I'm going to continue to do it until the UFC takes the point or takes my purse. Take a point. Strickland didn't beat Dricus the first time. I agree. Dricus was more aggressive. Tom didn't try to recover. He quit 1 minute into the 5-minute recovery. Again, even if you think that, let's scold Cyril Gane for even getting the eye poke thing started. Let's blame Cyril Gane. Whether Aspinall quit or not, Cyril Gane put his finger in his eyes, and we can't let that happen. You know? It's so crazy. No one is scolding Cyril Gane. Not one person has said, "Don't you do that again. Stop cheating, bro. Stop cheating. We know about you and Imavov." No one's ever said that to Gane. UFC didn't suspend Strickland. Nevada did. I don't know who suspended Strickland. It's hard to keep up with Strickland nowadays. He's all over the place on social media. Brendan Allen's one of my favorite fighters as well. He'll become more liked and more known if he gets that Dricus fight. There's some heat. There's some beef. If he gets that Dricus fight, look out. We might get a lot of Brendan Allen fans. Strickland beat the tar out of Dricus and got headbutted. And headbutted Robert. Dricus headbutted Robert? I didn't see Strickland beating the tar out of Dricus. I missed that fight. I missed that one. Strickland is more exciting on the microphone than in the cage. Facts. True. Absolutely. 100%. 2014, 2019. That's when the UFC was trash. So much better now. Hell no. Hold on. I gotta process that. Hold on. Hold on. 25. No. The prime years of UFC was 2016. That was the best year of UFC. 2016. Come on. 2015, it was brewing. It was getting the kettle warm. But 2016, like, come on. Best year ever. We can never replicate that. Think about it. The stars of 2015 and 2016 are still the biggest stars today. Minus Alex Pereira. Like, if you look at the lightweight division in 2017, look at the rankings. Stacked. All big names. The lightweight division's kind of died down, to be honest. The featherweight division's gotten better. I'll give it that. Currently, the featherweight division is better. The welterweight division improved. I'll give it that. UFC's so much better now than it was then. I read that. This is a rat race, but I'm no rat. I'm a turtle, a ninja turtle. So who's your favorite? My favorite's Michelangelo. John Morgan and the reporters were shitting their pants. He's like, be quiet, I'm talking. I'm not finished yet. Hold on, I'm talking, brother. So many quotables from that Tony interview before he fought Pettis on the Conor card. Tony's open workouts too with the breakdancing. You know what I miss? Bring back post-fight press conferences with all the fighters at the table. Back in 2014, 2015, we had all the fighters sitting at the same table after the fight card. Bring that back. What's all this isolated, sit alone at the desk bullshit? Michael Bisping, after he knocked out Luke Rockhold, literally entertained the fuck out of us. Called him out after the fight, post-fight desk. Said, I knocked your bitch ass out. Shut up. Get that cocky smirk off your face. You got knocked out, buddy. Bring that back. Sorry, I had to rant about that. And bring back open workouts. Are those a thing anymore, or they don't even get recorded? Frenchmen, they love to poke. It seems like it. Hopefully Benoit Saint Denis don't poke Benny D. Apparently the New York Rangers did to the Red Wings what Peyton Tabbitt did to Cameron Simon. What? What did Peyton Tabbitt do to Cameron Simon? I'm not even sure if I want to know. What's he going to do to Henry Cejudo then? I'm not going to be on the Peyton Tabbitt train. I'll tell you that. I'm not on the Peyton Tabbitt train, and I'm not on the Michael Morales train. I wasn't even on the Izzy train. What the hell did Peyton Tabbitt do to Cameron Simon? I'm not sure I want to know. Aspinall got a track record of not fighting. When was his last title defense? 18 months? Well, speaking of Aspinall, I'll pull it up. I don't even need to pull it up. He defended it against Curtis Blades, right? There was no one else to fight after that. He beat Volkov, the number one contender. There was only one fight left because the heavyweight belt wasn't vacated at the time. The real heavyweight belt was being held hostage in Thailand while Jon Jones was sniffing men. I hate Gon. He's the only one to blame for this whole situation. Tom did nothing wrong. I hear you guys, but you know who's really to blame? The promotion who's not punishing cheaters. Honestly, I'm not going to blame the cheaters if the UFC allows it. So, UFC is to blame. Change the rules, take a point. Jim Miller never eye poked. DJ never eye poked. Sure, a fighter's eye poked once in their career, but we have about a handful of guys that are consistent merchants. They're consistent eye pokers. Just a handful of guys. Who's your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? Mine's Michelangelo. Just out of nowhere. That's what I'm talking about. Tony was the best. Did you hear what he said after Khabib said he's going to break Tony's arm with an arm bar? Tony's like, oh yeah? Well, I like holding my kid. So Khabib's saying I won't be able to hold my baby boy? He was like, smoke was coming out of his ears. Smoke was coming out of his nostrils. It was crazy. He's like, well, I like holding my son. He was getting so heated at Khabib. That is the biggest what if ever. That was my most anticipated fight ever. Tony versus Khabib. It's a shame. I bet Ali Abdallah's sleaze is behind it too. Ali Abdallah disease. Someone said Aspinall faked the eye poke. And then Rob said, your mom didn't fake it. Hell yeah, Robert. Just messing with you. I hell yeah'd the finish to Tony's speech, brother. Cheers to Tony, the GOAT. The man who kicked steel poles for training camp. Tony, what a legend. Still has more aura on his huge losing streak than 80% of the roster. Oh, yeah, that's right. Where's your son at? Oh, yeah, on Tough, on The Ultimate Fighter. He took 2 tequila shots. Instantly. Where's your son at? Where's your son? That was when The Ultimate Fighter was good. The Ultimate Fighter used to be so good. Sean O'Malley been paying respect to Tony with the funny workout vids and no one realizes it. Oh, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. He was doing all that crazy shit. Swimming. Hamster wheels. I saw it. But Sean O'Malley, he needs to spice it up a little bit. He needs to actually entertain us at a press conference. They tricked El Kukui. Where am I? Oh shit, I missed a lot. They tricked El Kukui into doing back-to-back weight cuts because they know he's El Loco. Exactly. Exactly. That's the reason he lost to Gaethje. They set him up. They set up Tony. I know it. Tom Aspinall beats everyone but Poton. Let's see it. I would say Alex Pereira going for 3 belts is a bigger deal than fighting Jon Jones. Jon Jones without a belt is just an exhibition fight. It's just a money fight. Corey Sandhagen did WWE in his open workout. Sweet. We need more open workouts. We need more cool open workouts. I don't even know if that's a thing. John Dong is back. Sup? What up? What up? What's up, John Dong? The fantasy fight matchmaker. He's back. No getting on the Tabit train with Peyton and Ocean. Room in the middle or either end. I don't care if there's room on that train. You could save that spot for Izzy. Or Jon Jones. I bet Jon Jones is a huge fan of Peyton Tabit and Michael Morales. Too far, sorry. I didn't see anything too far. You're good. The Sandman, one of my favorites as well, even though he didn't get past the machine. He's all right. He's all right. You watch your mouth about Jon Jones, sir. What do I say to that? What do I say to that? What do I say to that? I think we need to watch Jon Jones' search history after that Hasbulla incident. I think we need to watch Jon Jones. I think we need surveillance on Jon Jones at the family dinners. I think we need to watch that. I think we need to watch Jon Jones and Dana White behind the scenes. See what they're up to. I will continue the Jon Jones slander. It's going to continue. I mean, that's the least he can get. He gets away with everything, you know? I'm sure they allow certain fighters to get away with PEDs. 100%. 100%. I mean, look how many fighters that haven't been caught that have HGH gut. I hate to say it for the Josh Emmett fans. Look at his physique. Come on. A lot of fighters like that. Almost all the fighters have the HGH gut. The gold gloves were better. Were they? I heard there was less knockouts with those. But they changed them back for Jon Jones, of course. But maybe they were better for eye pokes. But I think there was a stat, there was less knockouts, right? They could put it in the supply they give them without even knowing. They could give it to them without even them knowing it to certain fighters. I'm sure the fighters are aware because they need a sports scientist, though. So they can, you know, get off at the right time and inject the right amounts. Never should have sent back old gloves. Sandhagen. Well, what about the less knockouts? Do you think that was just a coincidence or that had to do with the gold gloves? Maybe the gold gloves were better for eye pokes. But they changed them back for Dana White's lover, Jon Jones. Sandhagen, who I emulate, an active fave. Anderson favorite of all time. Really? A lot of Corey Sandhagen fans. He's all right. He's cool. But I like Petr Yan a little better. But yeah, Sandhagen's cool. Song Yadong's cool. Hopefully he fights O'Malley. Dizzy is rage baiting. Maybe. People boo during UFC all the time. You never hear that at bare knuckle. That shit's skyrocketing. It's skyrocketing, but they didn't sell out their last event. For some reason, they made their last Mike Perry fight during UFC 320. Dumb move. I heard they screwed over Frankie Edgar because they didn't sell as many tickets as they thought. Not a good look, but I like bare knuckle. I'd rather watch it than normal boxing, I'll tell you that. But people boo during UFC all the time. I feel like the fans understand grappling more. We just won't put up with hugging. That's too much. You know, we need to cut Jailton Almeida out. Ferguson is trash. Well, I'm sure in 5 years Jon Jones will be trash and he won't be fighting, but Tony in his prime. That was a roller coaster, man. That was Khabib's kryptonite. Tony won Ultimate Fighter with no corner. Whole team ditched him. Didn't he have Brock Lesnar in his corner, or did Brock Lesnar ditch him as well? Because I remember Brock Lesnar was Tony's coach on Tough. Mitch speaking the truth. Hell yeah. That's how we do it. Laugh my ass off, rolling on floor laughing. Jones vacated the belt after beating old man Stipe. That's coward behavior. Coward behavior, I tell ya. Right. We got Aspinall. Jones ain't that guy. He even ducked Rumble. He was supposed to fight Rumble UFC 187. Jones is so scared of that power puncher. You know what he does? Crashes into a pregnant lady. Fight gets canceled. Now Daniel Cormier fights Rumble for the vacant belt. Jones ducked the hardest hitters there are. Rumble, Ngannou, Aspinall. He ducked Rumble. He was supposed to fight Rumble. UFC 187. I like Sean O'Malley a little more for defending Tom. That's cool. Good on him. Good on O'Malley. I want to see him fight Sandhagen already. Jones had to give the UFC 205 belt back because no one could take it. Then he did in heavyweight. Yeah, in 205, 38-year-old DC with a 12-inch reach disadvantage. Still impressive, but Jones, that's his biggest win. He never fought the scary one-punch knockout artist. No Rumble, no Ngannou, no Aspinall. Didn't even fight Stipe in his prime. Didn't even fight Kane in his prime. Negative Alex Pereira. Negative. Alex Pereira is too smart. He will never fight Big Tom. It doesn't look like Pereira is interested in it. I kind of agree. But I hope it happens. Who doesn't want to see Pereira go for the third belt? Dude, you know about PEDs in the water? Like, do you actually know what I'm talking about? One of my buddies fights for bare knuckle, and they did him dirty on contract last year. Something fishy happening business side of things with them. I did not hear about PEDs in the water, but I'll look into that. You're saying that they're secretly dosing the fighters? I'll look into it. It's not Hezbollah to Tom. It's not Hezbollah to Tom. He calls him his mini-meat. Jon Jones calls Hezbollah that? Hezbollah? How weird. How weird. I saw the Jon Jones Hezbollah video. Okay, I remember Brock being on Tough, but I think he wasn't there for the finals part. I'm not positive. But Brock didn't ditch him. Good memory. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I remember Brock. Maybe he wasn't there for the official finals. Dude, John fought the who's who. Stop it. Okay. Then why has he never sold more than 800,000 pay-per-views? His biggest pay-per-view was against Cormier. People only tune in when Jones has a huge chance of losing. Why has he never had a blockbuster pay-per-view then? Because he never fought Francis and he never fought Tom. But yeah, he beat TRT Vitor. Good for Jones. But with the UFC, it can go from being boring to crazy in an instant. That's what makes it exciting and unpredictable. Agreed. Agreed, agreed. Jones is cringe. Yeah. You know, it's just, how do you defend Jones year after year? All the time he's missed. All the layoffs. Jon Jones fought middleweights that fought at light heavyweight. All the legends he beat were older while he was young and on drugs. He really joined light heavyweight at the perfect time. I will say that. But I gave him props for being the youngest champ in history. Poton knocks Jones out cold. He very well could. He could. I'd be curious on the odds for that fight. You know Tyson couldn't sell pay-per-views, right? Because he always won. Right. Jones was fighting guys that we all expected him to beat. But he could have had a big pay-per-view because no one expected him to beat Ngannou or Aspinall. We believed that Jones would get clocked by Aspinall and Ngannou. And those fights never happened. He only fought the guys he had every advantage over. Like, if you're the best in the world, there's no reason Anthony Smith should be on your resume, but not Ngannou and not Aspinall. Jon Jones would not fight the Polish Hammer after he knocked out Dominic Reyes. True. He didn't fight Jan even. Same with Roy. Right. Yeah, the big pay-per-views are when the fans think the unbeatable champ can lose. So, he didn't fight people that were more dangerous than him. Like Ngannou, Aspinall. Potan will be slight underdog for sure. I agree. I'd bet money on Potan by KO. It looks like that's the fight at White House main event. I agree. There was no one left at 205, dog. The story y'all tell about Tom vs. Jon is what Izzy tried to do to Jon. No, because Jon Jones was champion. Was paper champion of the division that Tom Aspinall was running. Jones and Izzy were never in the same weight class. Izzy was never on a light heavyweight win streak. Jones killed Lyoto middleweight, Rampage middleweight, Vitor middleweight, Henderson middleweight, Bonner, rest in peace. Bonner would get... how would Bonner versus Aspinall go? How would Bonner versus Ngannou go? Nobody likes Tom. Glover. The Glover fight was impressive, but he kept sticking his finger in his eyes. Tom will KO Gon next time, no doubt. I'm hyped for the rematch. I'm hyped. I'm hyped as it gets. Jon was 205 champ when Izzy was saying he's coming up. But Jon was wasting his time at 205. Jon Jones was stalling. He had no business being at 205 anymore. Let's look up his record. After that Gustafsson rematch, there was nothing to do at 205. Did he really need to fight Smith and Santos? No one would have cared. In 2019, Jon Jones fought Anthony Smith and Thiago Santos. You know what he could have done instead? He could have moved up to heavyweight and fought heavyweight Cormier. He could have fought Stipe when he was champ. But he was wasting his time fighting Anthony Smith rather than moving up to heavyweight and fighting guys like Stipe in his prime. Izzy went up and lost to Jan. Jan had the belt because Jon went heavyweight. Yeah, and Jon went to heavyweight when Francis Ngannou left the UFC. Jon Jones was hiding from Francis Ngannou for 3 whole years. And Jon decided to go to heavyweight when Francis Ngannou left the UFC. How coward-like is that? Justin, Jones is trash. Dizzy, you cut it out. Were the judges fixed for the Reyes fight? Yes. Dominic Reyes won round 1, round 2, round 3. Jones won the last 2. There's no rule that states the championship rounds mean more than the first 3. Each round is scored as its own individual fight. You have to score each round separately. Dom Reyes won 3 out of 5. Because he killed 205. But you saying he didn't fight no one. I'm just saying he called himself the best heavyweight in the world. He had a heavyweight belt. without having Tom Aspinall or Francis Ngannou on his resume. Think about that. Being called the pound for pound GOAT heavyweight champion, but you don't have either Aspinall or Ngannou on your resume. How do those two things go together? You can't be the best in the world and heavyweight champion if you haven't beat Ngannou or Aspinall. Justin, Jones ran away from Tom. I agree. He could have cured cancer, but he chose to be MMA. I had Reyes winning that fight live. Yeah, Reyes won. Reyes won, and Jon Jones couldn't have cured shit. Jon Jones tried to go into law enforcement before his fighting his... Didn't Jon Jones say he tried to go into law enforcement before he was a fighter? Imagine that. Thank God he didn't. He'd be worse than Body Bag Piper. John was always taller, younger, and having reach advantages over every opponent. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. And the PEDs. Yeah, I'm not knocking Jon Jones for beating the light heavyweight division. I'm just knocking him for... I'm knocking him for staying at heavyweight, fighting nobodies. Smith, Thiago Santos. We didn't need to see that. The big question for Jon Jones ever since he became champ is, man, I wonder how this guy would look at heavyweight. That was always the big question. How would this guy look at heavyweight? I also have a theory Jon Jones got popped for steroids and wasn't allowed to compete. And they covered it up and said he's trying to bulk up. He's trying to bulk up. That could have been a cover up because he got popped. No one needs 3 years to bulk up. John was, yeah. Johnny boy. We never asked that, LOL. Heavyweight sucks and always has. Justin is trolling by himself under a bridge right now. If heavyweight sucks, why didn't John fight the guys we wanted him to fight? No, I'm not. Oh, man. We're trolling now. We're trolling. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm serious with my opinions. All right, guys. It's been a fun chat. It's been a good chat. Thanks for everyone who joined the chat. But I got a scat. I got a big day tomorrow. I'm going to be up early. But yeah, keep an eye out for my UFC 322 predictions. Dropping it Sunday. I'm dropping it Sunday. The banner. AJ Manx has been in the chat the whole time. Where you been, bro? AJ Manx is up late. Wow. The guy who wakes up at 4 a.m.'s up. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining. That was fun. We'll chop it up soon. Check out my predictions. UFC 322. I'm dropping it Sunday. I'm going to be the first one to drop these picks. I did good on 321. I got every pick right, except the Aspinall prediction. No one would have... Who would have predicted a no contest? That's never an option for me. I never picked no contest. I picked Aspinall. I picked all the winners. I picked Volkov. I picked... Who was the co-main event? I picked them. I picked Dern. I picked Umar. I got it right, so... Hopefully I get these picks right. I'll catch you guys Sunday.